Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Central Park, home of the destinations of climate change and tar pools. In today's episode, what I wanted to do is we're going to hop into doing a little bit of showcase on our fancy old boy by the name of Wichigo, as it has been a slight minute. And I did end up getting him finally after, I guess, like several months of trying to grind him up and get his actual pieces. I got him off of the actual association exchanges because people have been giving me shards of him 2 by 2 each day. So I went from, I think I had like 16 and went from 16 to 50 thanks to association stuff. So super thanks to those guys. And we'll be able to do a slight showcase here and talk about what he's all about. Now, I do have Don Guy equipped to him. So his power is going to be inflated because that is an attack bond at rank 11 with 80% base attributes, so he's going to be pretty alright. I do have him already at gold because I ended up upgrading him quite a bit during the double drop event, which is currently on right now. And we're just going to talk about his actual kit before I guess we're going to do Squad 13 since someone's inviting me over and over. So before Liberation, also known as before Awakening, he has normals of 173, he has a increase in his crit damage, and he has an increase to his crit damage and a chance to weaken the enemies, which I believe is a defense down. So it's alright. Same thing with this. This is 40% lifesteal, and this one is same thing with the weaken and more crit damage. So he seems to be mostly focused around crits, along with even his aiding skill is a weakening. Interesting. Honestly, I feel as if lifesteal is very, very relevant right now. I think that Arankar Aizen and Vassal Lord Ichigo are the two biggest ones that kind of come to mind when I think of it. But it's a really, really good attribute, and we're going to try him out on, I guess Squad 13 isn't quite going down. Damn it. In that case, we'll probably go and do Treasure Cavern, because I'm kind of curious to see how he'll end up doing. It appears that there is a single sesame seed in the bottom of my mouse, making me unable to move my mouse in the right areas. Oopsie poopsie. Yeah, let's go ahead and check out what he's all about, and we'll be able to clear out some waves with this, so should be a fun time. Alrighty, first of all, it's fucking rad. Look at that shit. Listen, Wichigo is one of those characters that, like, 2004 me, or something like that, whatever year it was, got super obsessed with him, and I never actually got out of it. Like, there's no time where I'll ever not feel excited pulling for a Wichigo unit, and I pulled for him during the White Day thing as well, because he seemed really, really cool. Over on BBS at least. It's so weird to try and cross over between the two, because I talk about both of them. But yeah, I love Wichigo as a character. I am really sad he doesn't actually go into his Bankai when he awakens, but you know, we'll live in a timeline for now. I'm hoping that they'll actually drop his later Bankai version as a different unit. I imagine it would probably start as Bankai and maybe, well no, because he actually goes into Bankai in the middle of the fight when he first goes into it. So I don't know. I don't know how they would end up structuring things. The issue I'm finding is he's not very good in his normals trying to take care of people around him. Like, he's struggling quite a bit whenever he's surrounded by all sides, so I need to try and pay attention to that. His actual third is a beam with his actual stab, so I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of it, to be honest. Like, it's pretty alright, but I don't know how I'm feeling about it. His normals also seem to have, like, range on them. They don't seem especially effective at different ranges. Like, I'm looking, if we go from up here, like, it's not really hitting all of the enemies within the rows he's swinging them at. Like, it seems to stop after 1 or 2 enemies during the rows. It's weird stuff, honestly. I wonder if that's intentional or if that's just a part of his kit that isn't quite there. I don't know if, like, I don't think that Hitsugaya's normals pierce, so I guess I shouldn't be expecting it here. Like, it goes through 2 or 3, but then it just stops straight up, unless that's just the range on it. Here, so I'll use my normals here. If I go from back in this area, okay, it actually is swinging all the way, but it seems to have a very small AoE. It's not that it stops hitting them, it's that the actual distance isn't the full Getsuga. It's up to, like, the almost corner of it. So, I get it. He's definitely alright is the word I would put for it. Luckily, what I do end up getting to do now is character trial. Now that they have that available, anyone who has a unit can just grind up the shards of them for free each day. I've been doing White Ichigo and trying to get shards of him, not for my own purposes, because I'm going to be using universal shards likely after I upgrade Ukiura. However, those shards are going towards other people in Summon Association that need him still. There's actually quite a few that have not ended up getting him, because he was one of the more... I don't want to say more rare, but he's one of the ones that when he came around, it was right after Dangai, which everyone didn't want to invest in. And he's not typically available in most banners. So... I'm glad I get to help some people out at least. Yeah, I'm quite excited. There's actually, so today, the Gin and Aizen banner ends in 3 hours. Now, I don't know if the Gin banner started 4 days ago or 3 days ago, so it might be today at 1 p.m. or tomorrow at 1 p.m. where Ukiura drops, but I'm super excited. I do have 250 tickets right now to go for him. And I also have 16,000 diamonds, which I got from the lottery, that I can go ahead and put into another 101 tickets if I need to get Sumasu Unohana afterwards. So I should be good to at least get a couple more of these here. I think Minos Hunt starts in another 45 seconds. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do one more quest here. Try to think of like... I'm actually kind of curious how he'll do... I want to try it in 3v3. Because I feel as if ranged enemies inside punishment especially, I've found personally, I have a lot of trouble trying to deal with them, especially in inner selection as well. Anyone who plays the OG Bankai Toshiro and lames out the competition inside inner selection can eat my entire ass. This morning, I fought against 4 different OG Bankai Toshiros that refused to let me get close at all, but the issue with that is they were not trying to attack me to get me away from them. They were dashing away constantly, and as I would pursue, it would just get worse and worse, and I would end up getting stun-locked one time and take my entire health bar. And I mean, that's how you play the character, but if that's how you choose to play, eat my ass. Because it hurts me. It actively hurts me to like get that stun lock. Now, I'm not talking about the new Bankai Toshiro. I'm not talking about like the version that's always in Bankai, because that's kind of the purpose of his gameplay. His gameplay is based around stunning. The issue is that the other Toshiro, the OG Bankai version that goes into his Bankai when he awakens, that version is slow. I don't want to say weak. Weak is definitely not the word I would put to it. He does less damage. So he doesn't just one-shot your entire health bar in one good stun combo. That Bankai Toshiro, he'll hit you, stun, 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 back away for like 10 seconds. Hit you, stun, 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 and then it's just a complete repetition of hell. And it hurts. And I found a way to kind of get, or fight against it via the double pursuit of my Nell. The issue is she doesn't stun or I don't get lucky with the stun as often as I need to actually be able to get those Toshiros. Because the issue is unless she procs a stun on the enemies, you're going to end up having them be able to run away immediately afterwards anyway. So it's difficult, and I definitely think that I don't want to have Dangai as my other bond or my other assist skill when I am playing inner selection, because he doesn't really do a very good job of things. He's not really a good assist. He's mostly a primary player if you do end up playing him at all. So I'm going to try to find someone that does a little bit better of a stun for my Ukiura stuff, because I'll be putting the Arankar Nell and the Dangai onto the bonds of Ukiura. So I want to try to make a full team of characters I want to use that also have good assists that I want to try and stun with. I don't quite know who comes to mind for that, and I guess we'll just have to end up seeing what happens later on. But it'll be fun, I think. Also, this is a fight against yourself, but Dangai, so you're somehow managing to lose to the White Ichigo. Now that's the final Getsuga right there. Oh no. My Shinsui friend! No! Damn it. I actually probably could have gotten the Dangai more easily if I backed out a little bit more, but that's okay. We're golden. I'll probably end up coming back to this because I actually want to use my Grimjow because you do get bonus chests off of it. And those bonus chests give you those talent pills, which are fucking magical. So yeah, we'll try and get into that first, though. We're just gonna hop into Minos Hunt for now. Okay, so it took us a while to actually load into Minos Hunt, but we are here and good to go. You know, this week has been completely exhausting. I'm actually recording this on Wednesday because I've just been so tired. Like last night I got home from classes and I was just out of it. I think what it is this entire semester so far, it's been very heavy work, but so we're 4 weeks into the semester so far inside my college program. It's been all right. A lot of what we're doing and learning is stuff that either I already knew or I didn't learn anything off of. Like the first day inside our college English course, we ended up reading a tidbit about how Walmart is a bad company, of which is really gross and awful. And I mean, it's an interesting article in general, but you're not learning anything new from it. Like, the only thing I learned new about that article in general was, hey, apparently Walmart has an FBI bureau, and their FBI bureau is meant to suppress people who want a union. That's fucking strange. But other than that, this entire semester has been sit in classes and learn about a topic that's... I don't want to say saying too meta doesn't make sense. It's too freeform to actually be able to improve. And a lot of what you're learning is just putting a term to something you already do. So, for example, on Mondays, I have a full day of classes. Tuesdays, I have a full day of classes. And the final course that I have on the second day is a group dynamics class, where it's meant to be learning how to effectively work inside groups and traversing the norming, storming, and whatever else you want to end up forming. I don't know. And it's all right, but yesterday was an entire class around active listening, which introduces the concept, and we watched a 15-minute fucking TED Talk about the concept that whenever you're talking to someone, you should listen to them and look at them and actually hear what they're saying and put down your phone. And I don't know why that's supposed to be a hard-to-grasp concept for some people, and I don't comprehend how you could justify putting an entire 3-hour class and lecture around the idea of active listening. I understand that it's meant to be preparing people to traverse workplaces. It's meant to be trying to prepare people for dealing with different, I don't know, opinions. But I guess for me personally, I've never really had difficulties with these things. Like, I'm very intent on other people, and I'm very intent on, like, eye contact a lot of the time. So it's weird. And a lot of people that I end up interacting with are in a similar state. Like, unsurprisingly, I latch on to people that also are very cynical. So it ends up being that we sit inside classes for 3 hours straight and make offhand comments. And you know, that works out. We also spent half an hour at the end of class doing a thing called, I think it was kind of like Kahoot. It was some net thing where the actual teacher does an active listening assignment. And you're meant to hand it in. It will be, I think it was worth like 2% of your grade in total. It's fucking nothing, but he was like, you have to do it, kiddos! Which is always shitty. But upon having to do it, we had to draw what he was describing. He was describing a campsite. But the way he was describing it was like, a triangle with another triangle with a creature over to the right side and a cloud above his head, which was a squirrel in a tree at a campsite. And it was bad. And it was half an hour straight of him slowly talking and describing this thing. And there were people that were asking the same thing over and over, like, oh, what'd you just say? Sorry, I missed that. In the active listening class. It kills me inside. And I get that there's different people that have different levels of comprehension and need some things repeated, but it still hurts, you know? A lot of high school was me kind of just tuning out because of stuff like that, so the fact that it remains inside college is always a weird time. But other than that, like, there hasn't been a lot of, like, sheer important content this semester so far. A lot of it's just been kind of going through the motions of different assignments. Like, oh, this one's a reading response about how college debt actually doesn't coincide with the higher money being made after you graduate. Like, they tested non-graduates, and they tested people that were graduating from certain programs and checking their wages over 10-year periods, and it turned out that it didn't really affect much, even if you did have a degree. But I mean, it's all individual based, and it all depends on the person themselves, so you can't even point to it. Ooh, 76, I'll take that. But you can't even point to the fact that there's a lower wage in certain people, because if you're a non-graduate who has a connection to someone inside a metalworking program, obviously you're going to be able to get into a job and get a good wage off of that because you know people. So the thing that matters, we're just gonna hop into this again, by the way. Whatever. We'll just fucking do it. We can do it twice. You get double rewards off of it. It's chill. It works out. Daily attempts are 2 anyway, so we'll go for it. But obviously, it all depends on the person and what you go into and what you're doing. And the actual essay itself doesn't touch on the individual people that were inside the entire test. So, for example, if someone goes into a science program in a university, and someone goes into a non-graduate program, and they both go into the same subject, they're both going into chemistry, for example, the person that goes to university is going to be better at getting a job because they have the degree. The non-graduate, if they have a connection, they can still get into a place, but they're going to have such a hard time trying to find a job. So in the end, all it turned into is me cynically making comments about how horrible these examples were because he didn't even provide the different parts of the arguments. And that's been the semester. It's been a lot of just challenging the things that come up, and there hasn't been a lot of interesting content. A lot of the interesting content has come out of the connections I've made in general. Like, oh god. I ended up talking to a very Christian wine mom and almost got slapped for saying Jesus fucking Christ at one point, and I felt really, really bad about it. But then afterwards, we went to, I think I talked about this on recording at one point, we went to a shisha place afterwards, and we were just kind of sitting around a table, just having a good time. You know, I'm not a shisha man. I can't even smoke normal stuff. I can't even, like, put a cannabis into my lungs without me fucking dying. And shisha is a flavored tobacco, so I was good on it anyway. However, in the process of this, everyone decides to go outside the shisha place and go and take hits of the magical bong. Now, the Christian wine mom had never smoked weed before in her entire life. So she goes out there, and the reason that she decides to do it in the first place is because the guy that she's trying to hit on, this is gonna be fucking weird to describe. The guy she's trying to hit on is the one with the bong. So she's like, I can interact. So she ends up going up, taking a hit, coughing her lungs out, and fucking dying throughout the entire rest of the day. And she just starts going on continuously about how God feels like it's left her. And it's like, oh, okay, jeez. There was also another, like, so our program deals with a lot of people that are in interesting age ranges, I would say. I'm actually the youngest one in the entire program in general. Everyone that's inside it is between 23 to like 85. So it varies by a metric fuck ton. And there was a time very recently, I don't know if I told this on recordings, it was during the shisha thing, where the old man that was with us, the hero, we'll call him Danny. Danny, he smokes a lot of weed apparently. You know, people do that. Now that it's legal inside Canada, I've realized that a lot of people that I talk to just do it casually. It's so strange to me just how normalized it's become, but it's honestly healthier that way, I feel. But yeah, so he takes a huge hit, and he starts just fucking going off about the fact that all of his happy memories are now sad ones because he grew old. And you just fucking want to hug the dude because he's so sad. And I feel that. I feel that inevitable heat death of the earth incoming. I feel that feeling of like, oh yeah, everything that was happy becomes sad at some point, but it's still a happy memory. Wah. So it was interesting to bond with him over that thing. And that was on the same day as that whole like wine mom thing. Honestly, there's been a lot of weird stuff these last couple semesters, but it's been very fun. I think there's a lot of things that I've been doing that I can't even talk about here on recordings. There's a lot of things that are very specific and very honed in that I can't actually discuss that much, but it's been a fucking trip recently. And I'm trying to like find stories that I can tell on recordings as I go, because there's been so much that's outside okay, you know? There's a lot of things that's not widely accepted to be able to talk about in a platform like this. But it's been so fun. And now that Ichigo is here, now that we're good to go, I will be getting Ukiura when he drops either today or tomorrow, which is super exciting. I'll fucking die, apparently. And on top of me dying, I'll also see you guys next time on Bleach Mobile 3D. Now, this game is super fun, and I'm going to be good to get 2 future banners. I don't know if I plan on going in on Ukiura more than the guaranteed, but I guess we'll see. For right now, thank you for watching this episode of Bleach Mobile 3D. Take it easy. I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.